Welcome back to JMC Live. We're highlighting the Radicalis Conference with the social media team guru, Alex Murashko Jr. He is on the social media team for Saddleback Church, and as you know, that was the host church for Radicalis. And Alex, do you know what the future plans for Radicalis is? Is it just supposed to be a conference at Saddleback, or do they have plans of wanting to do it elsewhere? How much do you know about that?
Okay, well, I know a little bit, and one is, yes, that they are already taking reservations for next year's Radicalis conference, and the other thing is that, yes, they do plan to grow it, and the message of getting back to the root of Christianity and the cross, and reading the Word, and living the Christian life, and as far as a modern advancement, using the social media and the common, the technology of today. Just last night, they released a tweet deck. The application tweet deck now has a Radicalis skin with the latest tweet deck version.
Okay. Since you are a reporter and a journalist, and as I call you, a social media guru, where do you see the church when it comes to the future for technology? What is the direction, and what direction should a church, a ministry, an individual use their technical, journalistic talents? What advice would you give someone?
Well, I would first of all say that even if you're not up to speed with what's happening in the world of the internet, not to be discouraged, but at the same time, not to close your eyes to what's happening in the internet. It's been a tremendous tool. Anytime there's a major event in the world, social media is used as the main communication tool these days. It's not even major media or mainstream media that is relied upon as heavily as it used to be, because some of these areas are too remote, or some of these areas are within the boundary of a totalitarian government or a dictatorship, and a lot of times now the internet's shut down. So I would just say that there's plenty of social media help these days. I, for one, have a ministry/business called Outreach New Media, and I have people that can coach others that are a bit squeamish about going on Twitter or Facebook, and the coaching includes the different strategies for keeping in touch not only with your church congregation, but also with using the social media as a evangelistic tool as well.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate a little bit more on, I know we tried to cover the Radicalis conference pretty good here, and I know it's really hard to try and cover a 3-day conference in an hour. I hope we did a good job on that, but I also want to expound upon, Alex, you mentioned about your Outreach New Media and the other things. You want to share a little more on that for your viewers and listeners?
Okay, well, when I set out to learn Twitter on my own, I just was trying to figure out, okay, what's the best use? And I was one of those ones that saw Twitter as something where, why are people just sharing the fact that here I am having a cup of coffee at Starbucks, and what is the importance of being on Twitter, or why should I even do it? But then after I saw that you can not only say what you're doing at the moment, but you can post links that lead to your particular website, or links to other stories. You find something interesting you want to share with not only your friends but other people, you can do that. And you can now there's all kinds of applications where you can take a photo and it instantly becomes a Twitter message. And now you can interconnect Facebook and Twitter, and so it's less time-consuming to post in separate places. Not only that, nowadays you can blog and will instantly go to Twitter and Facebook. So that's basically it, is that I view it as a ministry and a business, and we're also currently coaching a couple of pastors and church leaders who is joining the game a little bit late, but actually it's a huge learning scale, so we're all learning, and like I was saying earlier, it's like the Wild West out there, so everybody is kind of feeling it out and seeing how they can use it best.
Yeah, that does sound, the direction of what I think churches and ministries need to do. They need to understand what the technology is out there, because the demographic of the 12 to 28-year-old is very difficult to reach. And I remember when MySpace first came out. I was on it 2004, 2005. When it was not bought by new big media moguls, and it was just starting out. Facebook, you could only use Facebook if you were in college, and now things are connecting from school and college, and now they're bringing in all these different mediums. And Christ said that we need to shine a light in the darkness, and the problem is social media, MySpace, Facebook, Twitter, Bebo, Okra, LinkedIn. If you don't have a profile out there, you don't have a presence and something that is not only relative to today, because you can go and get a master's certificate in social media expert, and you can make a lot of money out of this, if for those of you that are looking for money, or you can use it for ministry purposes. So, hey, my church is having a potluck dinner tonight. Why don't you come to 100 my house at 2 p.m. Or hey, I'm stranded in the snow. Is anyone on Highway 23, 15 miles south of Columbus? Hey, people have used Twitter, MySpace, Facebook nowadays to communicate the simplest of needs. There was someone who was in New York, and instead of calling the police, they Twittered an accident happened on like 2nd and Broadway or whatever, and they got a response quicker than they would if they got on the phone. So if the secular world can use Twitter for their advantages, I believe Christians can. And Radicalis Conference is a good example of that. The Bug Conference is another good example of that. There's a lot of churches out there that are using live streams, such as myself, to host their messages. For instance, this week, how many services are going to happen tomorrow here in Ohio? I don't think very many, because of the snow. But what if all the ministers could go to one house, or the pastor could just log on to his live stream account from his home and share the message, and everyone still can watch it online? We need to get past the digital divide. I know the digital divide is still out there. For you guys that don't know what that is, it's people that don't understand technology. They don't know how to turn on a computer. I know people as old as 65 that get on the internet and MySpace and Facebook and write each other. And there's another one that's 72 and they have a Twitter page and stuff. So the ability to fulfill the Great Commission, to reach the world for Christ, so that all languages can hear. This is the opportunity. The internet, you can write in English, "I love Jesus Christ," and someone else in Japan can see it translated in their language. So we don't really have an excuse anymore today as to why we're not being the hands and feet God's called us to be. Alex, I want to thank you for coming today. And
thank you. It was my pleasure.
It was our pleasure. I'm going to let you stay on the line. We're going to end the pre-recorded show here, and we're going to go directly into our after show, and I'll keep Alex on the line and cover a few things. We'll take questions from the chat. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.